Hello everyone, welcome to Game Junk Prototype episode 98, recording on Sunday, March 13th, 2022. My name is Frank.
My name is Sean.
And my name is Andrew.
And today we'll be talking about this week's State of Play from Sony. I think it was a focus on Japanese publishers, at least that's what I had read, but there was some other stuff in there too. So we're going to go over most of the announcements, if not all of them. Might be a bit of a shorter show and what we played.
I've said that many times. It never is. But
no. But I'm Team Blue Haze. Ironically, you guys are wearing blue. You're ready to go. The haze is alive and well with both of you. How you guys doing?
Great.
Pretty good.
Ready to go to bed.
Before I forget, which I almost forgot again, I wanted to tell the listeners about the bundle for Ukraine on itch.io. Like, so many games in it. It's like five.
It was like 992 something. It's insane.
Like, not all of those are games, but
yeah, still
it's like
still
500
like 10 bucks.
So yeah,
games worked on by myself, Lost Orbit,
and myself,
and Andrew from Pixelnauts, and some other good games in there. A Huck City fave, Crosscode.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think a Short Hike. People
another good one.
Fond of.
Mm-hmm. Super Hot. Backbone.
Bob Is You.
Yep.
Of course, you can always buy this package and never play it because there's no achievements of any kind to be had, but still have them. You still have them forever. So definitely check that out. Just look up Bundle for Ukraine, and I'm sure it'll be the first thing that comes up in your search. Huck, you wanted to give a shout out.
You know what? I actually said one shout out. I just realized I have two shout outs.
Two shout outs?
Two, double.
I'm just going to give a shout out to the. I'm just fucking. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I don't have anything.
Yeah, you don't. I knew it. So the first shout out, my good friend Chris on Twitter. He sent me a message and was like, "Hey, is $14 to pick up a used copy of Binary Domain on PS3 worth it?" And I said, "Fuck, of course it is. Any price is a good price for Binary Domain." And he now has picked it up, and I appreciate his loyalty to the brand. And shout out to Chris. Thanks for supporting Binary Domain, because it is the best game of all time. Second shout out.
Just to clarify, you didn't work on Binary Domain.
No, it's just the best game of all time.
You just really like Binary Domain.
I'm an advocate for Binary Domain. And I believe I mentioned last show, or maybe the show before that, my company only exists to someday purchase the rights to Binary Domain so that I can make Trinary Domain or Binary Domain 2 or Unary Domain, whatever I want to call it. I will own those rights, Sega. I'm coming for you. Second shout out. The Soundfall game I've been working on has entered certification. So go look up Drastic Games, look up Soundfall, coming out many platforms, coming up in the next couple months once we get through certification. But check out the game, find them on Twitter, find them on Instagram. Show some love. It's a fun rhythm-based shooter that has a lot of really cool music tracks in it, and it's like procedurally is it procedurally generated? I don't know if it is officially procedurally generated. At least the enemies are procedurally placed. I don't know if the maps are procedurally placed, but it's a fun little game. Lots of replayability, and it's got a cool little story, lots of cool enemies. Check it out. It's really fun.
Nice.
Shoutouts complete.
Now, mine wasn't really a shout out, but I was going to say Discord has been real active lately. So if you're a listener and, curious, check out the youtube.com/gamejunk. And in the notes, there's a Discord link. I'm dropping free codes in there. Shit's getting crazy. So
how many of those free codes were from the Ukraine bundle?
None.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's just free. Like DRM stuff on itch, I'm pretty sure. Like that's why I said you can't get achievements.
Yeah,
that's true. That's
Steam
true.
Codes or anything.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. It's humble that
it's
normally
all
gives
humble
it Steam
stuff.
codes.
But I had doubles of and just going through all my humble collection. All right, let's get into State of Play for March 2022 from Sony. I guess we'll just go down the list here. Was it officially like Japanese developers, Japanese publishers? That's what I read on some website, but it really
I read that on the Sony blog, so
I guess it's just
or PlayStation blog.
Focusing on, not exclusive to that idea. So the first thing that we saw was Exoprimal, a kind of a horde mode, where you shoot dinosaurs with these exosuits. Really came out of nowhere. Had not heard of it. I actually thought it looked decent. I thought the effects were really cool. There's this trend with games where you slaughter dinosaurs. What is that? Like, there was the other one, like something Extinction on Xbox. Like, what's with all these games where you just massacre dinosaurs? What do they do? Why is this the new thing?
Arc game?
Because of Arc?
Talking about?
No, I think so.
Is it Arcane?
No, Arc.
No, Arc. There's another one. I'll look at it.
Yeah, I mean, like, people love dinosaurs, but you're right. It's like killing dinosaurs, man. Like, some of those dinosaurs are just harmless animals.
Like Brontosaurus. I saw all those Brontosauruses just falling from that sky. And I must say, I loved it. You see, like...
Second Extinction was the other game I was talking about.
Second Extinction. What other company?
Face of the earth again, dinosaurs.
What other company would have just the cojones to basically be like, let's take Warframe, put dinosaurs in it, and have them just fall out of portals from the sky? It makes absolutely no sense, and I love every second of it. I love that Capcom is willing to just come up with wacky ideas and roll with it and be like, yeah, dinosaurs fall from the sky? Sure, that makes sense. Why not? Let's do it. And like, they just roll with it. It's amazing.
I actually didn't mind it either. And I don't know if it will be good. I don't know if it's a full campaign. Like, I don't know if there's details, if it's like a free-to-play thing. I have no idea. Capcom typically doesn't do that, so I'm guessing it's like a full game. But, I mean, the takeaway to me was, after World War Z and Days Gone, it's really building on this idea of hordes of creatures, and it looks like fun, but specifically the idea of using these barricades. There were ones where you could, like, someone was pushing back the horde, and there's like so many dinosaurs on screen. I thought it had a lot of potential. I'm certainly not like super excited for it, but it was a pleasant surprise for me.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like a tad generic, but like, I mean, I guess the thing I'm wondering is, like, does this fall into the like Left 4 Dead style team-based co-op game? Because there's been a bunch of those, and I know Back 4 Blood came out, and I feel like I was excited about it, but then played it a couple times, never really went back to it. There was the Anacrusis came out recently on Game Pass. Was kind of interested, still haven't played it. Like, I don't know, maybe we're getting too many of these now, but I'll give it a chance anyway.
Wait.
Now, do you guys know who the
problem is? Its genre.
Uh-oh. What does that mean?
I don't know.
Have you guys been able to find who the developer is? Because I was sort of getting Lost Planet vibes, and I was wondering if it was the same developer, but I can't find out. I haven't been able to find out who actually is making this one.
It says Exoprimal is Capcom's newest IP. This is from the Exoprimal Twitter. A team-based action game with a competitive edge. And I wasn't sure based on what we saw, but it is also coming to Xbox and PC.
Would also help if I was searching for the right name of the game.
I see a lot of people comparing it to Anthem as well, which I haven't played, but like, maybe is that what the genre that they're saying it falls into?
I don't think so. Anyway, I don't see a developer on their website. We're going to move on. If anyone has any breaking updates later in the show, feel free to chime in. Okay, the next one was Ghostwire Tokyo, which is coming out in 2 weeks, I believe. And Ghostwire Tokyo should be a game that I am ready to force feed, because it's a PlayStation exclusive from a company that Microsoft bought. It's the ultimate, like, fuck you to Microsoft. This game's going to be amazing. And it's only on PlayStation. And I really didn't give a shit about it, ever. Like, it was never defined what the game is. It's a horror detective game. That's basically all we ever had to go on. It was very light on details. And this is the first time we saw some like action-based combat and effects. And it's first person, getting kind of BioShocky vibes from the combat. And I'm actually starting to make the force feed happen. I might actually pre-order and buy this game. I thought it looked really cool. Just visually. Like, the effects looked neat. The combat looked better than I expected it to be honest. I really thought this game was going to be a dud. So it was a good trailer. It was effective for getting me excited about the game. I'm still not convinced it's a good game, but definitely interest peaked from where it's been for the last 2 years.
Yeah, I like the trailer, and I agree visually it looks cool. I still don't totally know what the game is. And
it's
I
a
feel
horror
like,
noir detective game, Sean. This is your game, dude. In Japan. You love Japan.
Yeah, the setting seems cool, but like I didn't get that sense of like detective stuff. Like I got the supernatural action vibe from it, but I don't know, story-wise, I wasn't totally sure what was going on. But
I, for one, am glad they didn't spoil the story. I don't want spoilers.
I mean, the one thing too is I feel like the title, I keep getting this mixed up with like Ghost Runner, and like there's another game I think that has ghosts or Tokyo in it. Like, I don't know. This
guy talking about?
Haven't been thinking about this game at all. So
take a minute, breathe. You'll figure it out. You know what the game is. This guy.
I don't.
This guy is pushing Microsoft so hard. Huck, do you give a shit about this game? You're a detective game.
I know, but the first person like melee combat stuff, I'm not feeling it. I must say this trailer was the one that got me the most intrigued, but not very intrigued. So
okay, needle's not moving.
Needle is not moving.
Next was another peek at Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin, which comes out Tuesday. I did download the demo for this game, which they announced. Or sorry, pardon me. I thought I downloaded the demo. I added it to my collection. I purchased the demo, but it didn't download because I was going to play it before this, and it was 38 gigs to download. I'm like, I'll download it. I don't think it's going to happen. So did not play it before the show. I like action combat games. This feels like something I will wait to see what the reviews are like, but I think it has potential.
I did play through. Well, I didn't play through the demo. I played the demo. I didn't finish it, but I enjoyed it actually. I thought it was pretty fun. I thought they had a fun, attack mixed with a blocking mechanic. And how they used the magic system, Final Fantasy magic system, I thought was kind of interesting. I didn't really totally get it yet, but I was definitely
have like
intrigued.
Sweet Final Fantasy blue menus and stuff like the classic.
Did it? I don't know. There's a lot of focus on those like red crystals you see in the thing.
Did it have iconic Final Fantasy sounds and music?
You know what? I don't think it really did. Now that I think about it, like nothing really stood out. Yeah, it was like a lot of cool bosses. Like there was one really cool boss that is pretty well known in Final Fantasy, and
I did see one creature. I think it was this game that had this crazy like tentacle creature. Am I thinking of the right game? Like the purple and blue haze tentacle creature. Like thing looked fucking sweet, dudes. I can't wait to play this thing. So I do think I will wait for reviews though.
I don't really have anything to add to this, but is this a brand new Final Fantasy game? This isn't like any remake or like sequel. Like it's kind of its own thing.
It's an action spin-off from the first Final Fantasy game, as far as I know.
Okay.
The intro story is like very weird. It's like very, very bro. and it's it like comes across pretty stiff, but it's pretty funny. I'm like, I'm still into this. I don't care. So the story will probably turn people off right away, but it's very, I guess Final Fantasy 15 did it way better. I don't know. It's so far the story intro is not super engaging, but other than that, liking the combat. Sorry, move on.
Okay, next was an update on Forspoken, which I had seen before I watched this, that it got delayed 5 months, I think, into October. And I, for one, am glad it's delayed. I love when games get delayed. It just means the game's going to be better. Everyone should be so happy that games get delayed all the time. It's for the best. We love delayed games. Thank you for delaying games, publishers. You're the best. Especially Nintendo. When you delay games, you're even better than everyone else. So thank you. I love Forspoken. Everything I've seen of it, this was the best it's looked to me by far. As I always say, the locomotion in the open world looks fantastic, and the effects are top notch. I think we've always, like, when we were talking about what next gen was going to be, it was going to be a focus on effects and lighting, and I think that's basically how things are playing out. I guess the secondary thing we didn't foresee was extremely fast loading and storage, which has been great, but visually, effects have come so far, and I thought the combat in this game looked fantastic. I like that, it seems like Japanese companies are taking risks on like third-person action games that are different and weird, all going back to Nier Automata. I know that Babylon's Fall game is like not doing well, but it seems unique. So I like these kind of weird one-off things with potential. I hope they're good, but I'm still very excited for Forspoken.
I am too. I saw it and I immediately thought, you're just playing as some sort of badass wizard that has a lot of really cool spells at her disposal, and I was all in. I before, when they were showing all the story trailers and stuff, I'm like, what is this? But now that they have the locomotion mixed with this kind of like magic system they have going on, very interested. And I know a lot of the critiques were around the story and how the dialogue was all weird sounding and breaking the fourth wall and all this kind of stuff. But I don't know, the gameplay looks really good. So I'm all in.
We can all agree video game stories are borderline irrelevant. They are a context. So let's see that gameplay. It's looking good.
Yeah, looks good. I think the delay is, if anything, just
perfect. It's the greatest thing that's ever happened.
Well, I think it's a sign that they see this as one of the big blockbuster games for Sony this year. And it is exclusive, right? Or, well, I guess PC.
I think they also, I don't know. I think they also see the best games have been like loaded into January through April of this year. So you might as well give people a chance to play those and maybe stand out in October. I think they said it was because of COVID, like the de facto reason that it's delayed. So, but I just want to reiterate, I couldn't be happier that games are getting delayed.
I mean, for a minute, I thought they were going up head to head with Starfield, because it's Starfield, I think, November 11th, and this is October 11th. So I was like, what? But obviously different month. But still, I mean, it's pretty close. And to me, it does feel like Sony maybe is looking at this as their equivalent to Starfield. So
I can't speak for myself on this one, but I'm sure all Microsoft fans are already excited that Starfield has been delayed till 2023. They're already like asking them to delay that game because it can only get better if you delay it. We don't need it now. You know what? Better yet, push it to 2024. That way we know it'll be great when it comes. That'd be awesome. Good job. All right, next, Gundam Evolution. This is a fucking snooze fest. We moving on from this one?
Yeah, not really moving my needle.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's move it to something that is moving everyone's needle. Probably the biggest game announcement I've ever seen. Close to it. TMNT, the Cowabunga collection, with every retro Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. How has no one speculated that this should come out, needed to come out? Like, everyone wants this. They're going to make a fortune with this game.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's very surprising that, some of the games that are in there, I think, you could see somebody putting out like the arcade games in a bundle or something, but, the fact that they've got the Game Boy games in there, they've got Genesis games, like it's a pretty complete package.
I would not want to be Shredder's Revenge right now.
Well, so you were mentioning that. It could definitely steal their thunder. I'm curious which one's going to come out first. I would think that this would be like the prep for Shredder's Revenge. You'd want this to come out before that. But, I mean, it's...
I wonder if, I want to know the story behind the rights of this. Like, they found out Shredder's Revenge is coming out, and another publisher's like, well, we're going to release this. And it's like, I wonder if there's some animosity there. I don't know that there is. It could be the same publisher. I just think it's fun. It's kind of like a Sekiro-Neo rivalry that I pretend exists and might not at all.
Yeah, I mean, that being said, I will say, read something interesting about one of the Game Boy games that was in this collection, where they were mentioning that it's like a Castlevania-esque game. Went to my...
They don't even give Metroid any credit? I thought you said it was like Symphony of the Night.
Yeah, Symphony of the Night specifically.
So you're calling that a Castlevania game? It's like a Castlevania game? Now Castlevania's taken over the Metroid and Metroidvania? What's going on here?
I mean, I think, again, it probably comes back to melee combat versus ranged combat. Anyway, I loaded up the old emulation box, and I was like, I want to check out this game. Started playing it, and it was so painful. I was like, okay, all these games, I'm going to buy this. I will play 5 minutes of each game, and that will be it.
Perfect.
And that's what we'll all do. It'll be fantastic. All right. Although, to be fair, I think I got every trophy in that Disney Afternoon collection. Like, I played every one of those games and beat them legit. Like, I was fucking bored that summer.
Is that the one with Aladdin and the Lion King?
No, that was the NES one with Chippendale Rescue Rangers, Tailspin, DuckTales.
Oh, wow.
And one
those
other
games are
DuckTales 2, maybe?
difficult.
Or Rescue Rangers 2? I don't remember.
Yeah, that was the summer I wasn't working. That's scary. That scares me to think about that. I think I put 100 hours into Neo that summer. It's fucked. All right, on to Snooze Fest number 2, Giga Bash. Some kaiju party game. I mean, I guess it could be good, but definitely not.
There's another kaiju game coming out this month, I think, right? What is that game called?
I don't know, dude. You're the one who's into the kaiju. Let us know.
It's called Dawn of the Monsters. And
are we in the same territory as like dinosaurs? Or like, I know they're different, but they're similar. They're kind of like dinosaurs, kaijus. I'm just in this whole exterminating huge creatures thing. What's the fast?
Well, but I mean, in this one, you are
even Horizon. I know people like to call them robot dinosaurs in Horizon. They're not. They're robot animals. They're like 60% of the creatures in Horizon are animal inspired, not dinosaurs. So let's stop calling the creatures in Horizon robot dinosaurs. They're not.
Right. Just to be clear, though, both of these kaiju games we're talking about, I think, are like beat 'em up. Well, the Giga Bash one seems like a
asymmetric
arena brawler, is what it says.
It almost looked like
blog.
A take on like Super Smash Brothers or something.
Yeah, but at one point there was one player was the kaiju, and other people were, I think, smaller things fighting it. Am I imagining that?
You could be right.
You looked a lot closer than I did.
I mean, it could be a power up that each player can get at some point. So I don't know for sure, but either way, I hope it's great. Yeah, you know what? I hope they delay it a couple months and make it even better. All right, moving on. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle. I've never gotten into the JoJo's games.
There were other JoJo games?
Well, they're like... They're not. There are fighting versions of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but I think the other ones were like courtroom games. I might be I might be wrong. But I really, really dislike the art style for this game. Like, it was doing... It's the... we talk about indie games and these new showcases, and every time it's like, every art style is so unique and, like, looks amazing. And these games stand out. This one, like, this art style is so unique and so gross.
It looked like they were trying to do something like, was it Street Fighter 4 or Street Fighter 5 that did the, like, cell shading, but it doesn't pull it off. It's, like, really weird.
I mean, it is an anime series, I think, right? So I assume that's what they're trying to replicate to some degree, but yeah,
I don't think so.
Kind of gross.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's fans out there, but I didn't think it looked very good. There was a lot of fight. I guess there was like 50 characters you could use, which seemed kind of neat, but anyway, moving on. Next was, I feel bad for this game in a lot of ways. Is it Trek to Yomi?
I think so.
Did I write it down wrong? Okay. Which is like an action samurai game, which definitely reminded me of Sifu and a few other games that have come out. And it's like, I feel like a lot of games have the same idea or similar ideas, even the black and white samurai mode in Ghost of Tsushima. It feels like it's a little late to the party, but at the same time, I thought it looked pretty good. I like the art style. I guess it seems like it's more of a side scroller compared to those other games. So I thought it looked cool. I'm kind of excited for it.
Yeah, I did too. I couldn't really tell if the like slow down time or if there's like a rewind mechanic. It was kind of hard to tell what was gameplay and what was just like cinematic flair, but it looked pretty interesting. I'm in.
Yeah, I'm in as well. I mean, at the very least, they had the balls to commit to Kurosawa mode and not just make it an option because, nobody actually plays Ghost of Tsushima.
Quite graphic. Quite graphic.
Yeah.
So they went all in on the samurai, cutting heads off and blood.
I don't think I've ever played a samurai action game that I've disliked. Like Nioh, Sekiro, Ghost of Tsushima. Like, you almost can't lose with me, so they'll have one sale. Next.
Oh boy.
Perfect timing. Returnal update. Co-op. Full campaign co-op. And a tower survival mode. Coming, I guess, around the year anniversary for the release of Returnal. Let's hope they fix the absolutely crippling bugs in that game that I've experienced twice to literally throw away time. So I guess it's nice that they're still supporting it. Maybe that's why they're waiting to patch things. But they definitely got to fix some bugs. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of curious to try co-op. It actually looked like it could work, and just based on what I know about Returnal, I'm like, yeah, this game could definitely work as a co-op game. So, and maybe it'll alleviate some of the difficulty issues. I don't know if they're going to scale difficulty based on the co-op thing, but it's not a big deal to me, but I guess it's a nice little bonus.
Yeah, I mean...
Sean, you might be able to see more than the first 5 areas of Returnal, or first 5 rooms if you come along for the ride with me.
It's definitely got me closer to purchasing the game. So
you didn't purchase it?
Still haven't bought it.
What a hero! Okay, next, the Diofield Chronicle, which seemed like a Fire Emblem ripoff of some sort, from what I could tell.
It almost like was some sort of hybrid, like XCOM mixed with a little more of the strategy aspect of like a Fire Emblem or like a Final Fantasy Tactics type game.
Yeah, I think that's what the Three Houses version of Fire Emblem was, though, right? Wasn't it?
It was more the Three Houses. No, that was just like a more actiony game, was it?
No. That's like they took the strategy game and incorporated like a school and story mode.
Yeah, but I thought the battles were still kind of... they were like turn-based. But this was more XCOM-y, I thought, where it looked like there was some real-time elements with like when you choose to do your attacks. Like the movement is kind of real-time, and then...
the article on the PlayStation blog does say real-time tactical battle.
Yeah, so I actually was like, is this triangle strategy? Because I know like it had a very similar look to triangle strategy, at least in the the tactics aspect of it. But then I believe this is also by Square Enix, which I found strange that they would put out triangle strategy and then immediately have this game ready to go, which seems like an odd choice maybe to put them so close together, because I believe triangle strategy just came out like last week or the week before.
Yeah, but that's only on Switch to start. So.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Pretty sure.
Oh.
And because what was it? Octopath Traveler didn't come out on Xbox, I think, for a year and a half later after the Switch or something like that.
Yeah, but I thought this looked neat. I'm into it.
It looked very, very poopy.
Oh, really? A poopy pants.
Visually, dare I say, grotesque. But I guess I'm not a strategy player, so if you're into that, I mean, graphics aren't the most important thing. So
the concept art or the like poster art or whatever looks cool. It looks like the guy who does the Castlevania artwork. I don't know if it is the same guy, but
man, this guy's grasping here.
That looked cool. The actual in-game graphics. Yeah.
Trying to counterbalance my grotesque statement. Don't bail him out, Sean.
I'm just saying what I feel.
All right. And lastly, Valkyrie Elysium.
Valkyrie. Oh, Valkyrie. Who are you?
I say words weird. And like, I think my note here, I got to go with my note. Got to be honest, this looked pretty rough. Like the combat looks so stilted and like 2 gens ago. Is this some IP or property that is like beloved? Because I don't know what the hell.
Yeah, it is. Have you ever heard of Valkyrie Profile or Valkyrie Profile Lenneth? Those games?
I've heard of Valkyrie Profile. I guess I've heard of them. I don't know much about them.
So the Valkyrie Profile was I don't know how popular it was, but it was kind of like a cult classic on the PlayStation. And it was sort of the first game, I believe the first game, that introduced the action style combat RPG where each character is mapped to one button, kind of like what was that game we played that you hated, but you played it all the way through, and I'm totally blanking on it.
I hate playing the game.
It's basically like triangle controls a character. You have a party of 4, and the
okay, right. It was Indivisible.
Indivisible, yes.
But I didn't hate Indivisible. I loved it until the end. Like, the end got really repetitive.
So Indivisible is based off of Valkyrie Profile's combat system, and this is a next. I mean, I don't think there's been a Valkyrie Profile game for ages. So this is like a rebirth of the genre, and instead of going the not genre, sorry, like the whatever you call the
series
IP,
franchise,
the franchise, So I think they kind of went, let's just go all action RPG, like they do it now, and got away from
whatever that
the series,
whatever
the series was known for.
Your description intrigued me, and they got rid of what intrigued me about it and made it look like a generic Xbox 360 action game.
Yeah, so I mean, this made me want to go back and finally play through Valkyrie Profile, but I have never actually finished that game. I've started it many times and never finished it, so I'll add it to my pile of shame. I'll move it up on the pile.
You should add it to the top of your best games of all time, like everyone else with Breath of the Wild that doesn't finish it.
What are you talking about? The best game of all time is Binary Domain. I've beat it multiple times.
Okay, so it is weird to me that they ended on such a dud.
That's what I was going to say. Both of these, the last 2 announcements, they built them up like they were big reveals, and they meant nothing to me. I mean, obviously, at least one of them meant something to Huck, but I feel like this, because it was a Japanese-focused state of play, there's just a lot of stuff that I am not familiar with, And I don't know if it's just because I, didn't have a PS1 or a PS2 for the most part, or like until very late in those cycles.
Yeah, but you didn't know about Exoprimal. You weren't interested in Ghost. Like those were visually kind of stunning, or like, hey, I didn't know about this. Now I know about it. The other ones are, I didn't know about them. I wish you wouldn't have showed me anything. I wish you would have delayed this game for 6 years and then maybe showed me something for it. But so don't bail out these games, Sean. They were complete duds at the end.
Frank, I have a hot tip for you. Apparently IGN, your site of that you read all the time, named Valkyrie Profile 2 Samaria the best game no one played. So apparently you better start reading your site a little closer.
You should change it to the best game no one's beaten, like Huck.
I've never even played it, so.
Oh, which one were you for? Which one did you start?
Valkyrie Profile, the first one.
Okay. All right.
And also, it says that the first one sold 2.2 million copies, which is pretty good for a PlayStation game, I would think. So
I'm not saying that the other games aren't good. I'm not saying Valkyrie Profile 1 and 2 are bad games. I love that idea that Indivisible ripped off. I bet they are very good games. The game they showed this time, based on that IP, is a steaming pile of poo.
I agree. It did not capture my attention. It looked very
Visually.
Yeah, the environments looked very like PlayStation 3, maybe PlayStation 4 if you push it.
I was going to say PlayStation Vita, Gravity Rush.
Or I guess you could say Nintendo Switch.
Yes. Yeah, that actually sounds about right. I guarantee this game is developed on the Switch first and being ported to other consoles.
Yeah, probably.
That's why it has to look like an old Wii U game. It's Nintendo. You're the best. The Switch is the greatest system ever made.
Definitely.
Jesus.
All right. Well, Mr. Blue Haze,
Nintendo yet?
You got to give us your, what did you think of this overall state of play? I mean, I know it's not like an E3 showcase or something, but I was kind of disappointed overall in this state of play.
I mean, you could say Cowabunga Collection gets it an A- by default.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's really that. And,
I like Exoprimal. Ghostwire Tokyo looked better. Forspoken looked great. TMNT. I'm going to give it a B-.
I mean, Trek to Yomi and TMNT were the only two that really I was excited about. Exoprimal, Ghostwire could be okay. Forspoken will probably buy. But it's probably like a C for me.
So I actually did a little news hot take I just found. Exoprimal is a 5v5 co-op game where it's whichever team survives wins. So it's not.
So one side's the dinosaurs and one side's the.
No.
I don't think so. I think one side is
dinosaurs
a
are
team.
pouring in.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
And it's whoever survives first wins, or whoever is the last to survive. So it's not quite what I was expecting, maybe. But I was actually, despite having the Valkyrie Profile or Valkyrie Elysium dud at the end, I thought this was pretty good. I'm going to give it a B+. I'm liking it.
B+.
I also like the Diofield Chronicles game, which you shat all over. So
that's true.
Extra
I did shit all over it. All right. We done with that?
Yes.
We're done.
Moving on to what we played. Anyone else have anything they want to bring up? Sean?
I've got something I want to bring up.
Bring it up if you want.
Well, I was trying to poke the bear with Frank today because there's a Metacritic released this list of publisher rankings for 2021. The idea is they group all the games by publisher, average up the Metacritic scores for all those games from each publisher, and then rank the publishers. And Microsoft and Sony were number 1 and number 2. pretty close to each other. I mean, the average for Microsoft was 87, Sony was 81.
I think that one of the articles I read, Sony would have been very close to Microsoft, but Destruction Derby All-Stars, I think, was like a 6.0 or something like that. So
right. And obviously
the Metacritic for Psychonauts 2 is higher than the Metacritic for Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, which completely invalidates any of these metrics from the start.
Well, so, I mean, I didn't even know this part, so we'll get into this in a second, but just, on the Microsoft versus Sony thing, I mean, Microsoft had Flight Simulator and Forza Horizon, which were like in the 90s. I think that alone would have probably got them to the top. But then we were looking at the other one that was over 90, and it was Psychonauts 2. And I was like, that's weird. I remember looking at Psychonauts 2 and seeing it was like 87 or 88. And that's the weird thing with Metacritic.
Same as Rift Apart, it's an 88.
Right. And that's the weird thing with Metacritic is that sometimes for games you search them and depending on the platform you're looking at, the Metascore could be different.
So the PC version of Psychonauts 2 is at 91, right? With like 9 reviews?
No, it's not even the PC.
It's Xbox One.
Xbox One
Oh
version.
My God. How embarrassing.
So somehow that's the one that they are including in this average. I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe they're including all of them.
It's not on the average. It's just, I think that just specifies whether it's in that one column where it's a great game. How many great games did they have? Great games. It had to have an over 90 Metacritic, which seems like a weird number for a great game because like it rarely happens. It's so rare that something gets over a 90 Metacritic. I want to know
if you look at the
what's
list,
Electronic Arts. I guess is It Takes Two a 90 Metacritic?
Might be. I mean, if you look at the list, Microsoft had 3 great games. Most other publishers had 0. Activision had 1, EA had 1, Square Enix had 1, and Focus Entertainment had 1. So I don't know which one Electronic Arts was, but anyway, kind of a strange thing, and obviously people kind of spin off their own articles from this. But I mean, the thing that I did find surprising was Nintendo was pretty far down on this list. They were number 14 with an average of 76. Usually you can count on Nintendo for having 3 or 4 like amazing
Pump the brakes, but
amazingly reviewed games, which they did not have last year.
Which they did, and it's still this low. Metroid Dread was very well reviewed, despite the fact that it's not that good.
Wasn't over a 90, though.
No. But that's
pretty close, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was like
probably high 80s, yeah.
Yeah. So that means that's an indicator of how bad the other stuff was.
And just to put this all in perspective of what a great game is, Binary Domain is a 74. So obviously a great game should be around the 73, 74 mark. So I think this whole thing is out the window horrible.
Metroid Dread was 88.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like the thing is too, like I was expecting to, if we were going to discuss this, I was just going to say, hey, it's numbers. Like it's, because I knew Frank was going to bring up the Microsoft Payola thing. But I mean, this is like across all sites, all critics, all reviewers. But then like that weird inclusion of like the Psychonauts 2 that's on Xbox One that only has 11 reviews or something totally throws this whole thing off.
If Sony did have a game that was a 90 and it was on PS4 and PS5, does it get 2 great games? I thought the whole thing with Microsoft was we have what's their stupid branding for you buy a game once?
Smart something?
Smart delivery.
It's got smart delivery. All these games should be considered equal. And
yeah.
Like I mean, this is Sean took the clickbait here. Like this is a bullshit article. It's basically engineered to have you click through the list. Like it's literally set up as clickbait. So
I also want to just to put this in perspective. Let's go over the 11 companies that rated Psychonauts 2 super high to give it this rating. Washington Post, well known for obvious gaming news. Gaming Age, don't know them. Cultured Ventures. No, wait, Cultured Vultures. Shindig. But why though? Question mark?
Why though?
Not my question mark. That's the name. Level Up, the indie game website, CD Action, Video Chums, Het Nieuwsblad, and Gaming Bible. Those are the 11 to push it up to the 91. So I have never heard of any of those other than the Washington Post, which I don't go for gaming news. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know if that makes them more or less likely to give a high score just because they're smaller sites, but I guess you could question their credibility a little bit, maybe.
I wouldn't question the credibility. It's more like a
smaller sample size, so that can skew the numbers, right?
Yeah, and
well, 3 of those companies gave it a 100, including the Washington Post. So right there, that is suspect.
If you're out there and you gave Psychonauts 2 100 or perfect, you're crazy. You should not be reviewing games. There's no perspective on planet Earth that would say that game is beyond criticism or a perfect game or amazing. It is flawed. It is deeply flawed. It's creative. It is a good game. If you gave it perfect, either you're getting money from Microsoft, from it does not make sense.
Maybe somebody just loved it, Frank.
It's impossible. At one point in that game, you would have had to say, fuck this game, or throw your controller. Or be like, this is clumsy. Like, this is pretty bad.
I did that in Elden Ring multiple times. That thing's over 90. But, it's...
I don't disagree with you, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously see your point, and I don't know. I thought it was still an interesting comparison. I mean, Humble Games is number 3. That was another...
Hey, what about
tidbit?
What about number 19? Ubisoft. Yikes.
Yeah, that's a little surprising too.
Anyway, clickbait completed or taken. Done with this?
Moving on.
Moving on to what we played. Who would like to go first?
I can start with something. I played a game called The Complex, which is basically a movie with choose your own adventure little choices, and it's an hour and a half. Basically, it's like watching a movie, and you kind of just make decisions
from Letterkenny.
What's that? She's in Letterkenny?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, I thought it was pretty good, I guess, but at the end, there's like 9 endings, and so I'm like, how are you gonna? I don't want to watch this 8 more times to get all these different endings and all the different things. So once was enough, and I watched another video afterwards to see if like any of the decisions really made a difference, and basically a lot of them do not, but obviously they would be considered as like a different decision. Like for instance, one is like, you need to open a grate or try to open a grate. And it's like, do you choose brute force or finesse? And one is like, choose a scalpel to try to like unscrew it, or choose a microscope to try to like bash it open. And for both, she like stands on this like whirly chair and then tries to do it and falls over. It's the same thing. She cuts her hand in both. So it's like, well, is that really a decision? Did I really make any sort of meaningful decision here? Like, why even put this in here other than to make you feel like you're doing something? So it's like they realize, oh, we haven't had them do a decision in a while. Let's just throw in some bullshit that basically doesn't branch the story at all, and then go from there.
Sounds like Mass Effect.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
I know you love Mass Effect. I was trying to.
I do. But yeah, I would say if anyone is interested in some little, it's almost like something you see on. I didn't do the Netflix Choose Your Own Adventure thing, but I have a feeling it's kind of like a similar vein, and you can get this game pretty cheap.
Put this out to you guys. I know I'm not big on video game story, but giving options for dialogue is worse than anything. And like branching story stuff And I guess the Quantic Dream games do it pretty well because like you there's big consequences to that. But other than that, like it's pointless. It's so annoying. Like just make one thing great than two things that are shitty. I will never understand like a dialogue tree that goes on for 10 minutes in Psychonauts 2 when I'm drowning out everything. It's like, just make a couple of great lines, like refine your script, make it impactful. This like dialogue for dialogue's sake and choice for choice sake is such a drain. Who wants that shit?
I mostly agree with you. Like, I think, you know, I want to see games make dialogue fun, and I can't think of too many that have done it. You know, something like LA Noire, like dialogue is part of the game. So that maybe is one example, but
yeah. And you have to judge emotions, which are basically impossible to judge.
Yeah. It never really clicked for me in that game, but it's a cool idea.
How did that game not get roasted more? Like the whole hook mechanic is being able to tell if people lie. And it is like, I know there was I don't even know if memes existed when that game came out, but people like saying they're all the same facial expression. like you can't tell the difference. Even like, can you tell if someone's lying in real life? Like at the very least, the game should train you how to tell if someone's lying and to look for subtle things and like teach you to know if someone's being honest or not. Like what was that stupid Tim Roth show? Where he was like a body language expert and could tell if people were lying. Come on, Sean, it was your favorite show.
Don't remember.
Anyway, oh God, it's so bad. Like
I feel like LA Noire did not get like amazing reviews. I think it did get dinged for some.
I would guess. Stuff, okay, Huck, bring the Metacritic up.
I got it. I'll tell you this. It's very weird. No, I'm not saying anything, but it's very strange. Go ahead. Yes.
Like I'm assuming when you say strange now, you mean across platforms it varies tremendously.
Yes.
Okay.
Wasn't there like a remastered version too or something?
So there's the complete edition.
I'm going to go to original PS3 and Xbox 360 versions. And I'm going to say the Xbox 360 version is an 84 and the PlayStation 3 version is an 82.
So they are both 89.
What?
Wow.
This game needs to get roasted hard.
Now the complete edition on PC, 83, but the Xbox One and PS4 versions, 76, 77, and the Switch version, 78.
Which is basically 10 years later, after everyone was done giving everything that Rockstar does, like I don't get it. They're a free pass company too. Like we got to stop with that shit.
And then a game like The Saboteur, which is arguably way better, probably got shit on.
That's an 82 or 83, I think. Maybe 81.
How do you spell Saboteur? Uh-oh. Saboteur.
SABOTEUR.
Uh-oh. Oh, it's the... No, it's...
72. 72 on PS3.
That was a great game.
73 on Xbox.
Shit on. So, this is binary domain territory right here.
The Rockstar thing is weird. It's weird how they get 10 all the time. Like, it's very strange. Okay, we know you can pull off a big open world. Like, that's not that impressive. Lots of games do that now. And it looks great. Right? I don't know. It's weird. Red Dead's great. GTA is not great. LA Noire is okay.
Bully. Great.
Now we're talking. That's a game. All right. Done roasting that shit yet? We moving on?
I think we can move on.
Question is, are you done?
I'm going to be real quick. I've pretty much been playing Elden Ring. Not as much. Last night, I finally hit a boss that is absolutely driving me up the wall. It's a dual boss fight. The Misbegotten Warrior, I think, and Crucible Knight. It's two bosses at once. It's infuriating. Everyone on Reddit is snapping, saying this is the worst boss fight they've ever put in a game. No one, like very few people beat it. There's another way to get around them, and I've come so close. I've come within like one hit of beating this thing, and I'm like determined to beat it. And I've spent like 4 hours trying it over and over again, and it's brutal. I'm like, I just want to. So I was like, I'm done with this game for a bit. And when I couldn't play that Stranger demo, I fired up Gran Turismo 7 on PS5. This game is so strange. Has anyone played it?
No, not
it's
yet.
Fucking weird. Like the opening movie is like this weird history of automotive stuff and a really long cutscene of just cars driving in engine, and you can't skip it. And then you go into the menus, and it's like these weird, like Facebook pictures of people talking with text. It is like, it's creepy. It's a creepy game. It's the closest thing I've played. Like I wouldn't think, hey, what's the creepiest game you've ever played? A realistic driving sim? But it is. It's the creepiest game I've ever played. I don't dislike it, but
like you're just saying like Uncanny Valley type stuff?
No, it's just creepy. Like it gives me weird vibes. It's like, and it's stuff I would typically like. Like it feels very sterile. Like I like cold lighting and sterile things. And this is like that. But then it's like trying to make it seem like these are real people with this generic game dialogue. The opening cinematic, like I said, it's peculiar. It's a peculiar game. But the things that I hated about the last Gran Turismo I played are fixed, whether it's PS5 loading times or not, but jumping between menus is way better than it used to be. It was guiding me through the experience a bit more. It started off kind of ripping off the music custom things in Horizon. It's like this classical music run that it makes you go on. Even that was a little awkward. I mean, this game is an 8 out of 10 at best, and I've only played it for half an hour. But Horizon, I'm pretty sure is officially taken over. I thought this would be the time. They knew Gran Turismo. We have to bring it back. And sorry, it's not. Horizon's a better racing game.
But I mean, they're two different styles.
Please
of
use
racing.
this for evidence when people claim I'm a blue haze lunatic. I'm telling you, Horizon is better than Gran Turismo.
But again, they're two different styles of racing games, right? Like one is
Not really.
arcadey and one is...
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to say Horizon. I meant to say Forza. Thank you, Sean. Forza Motorsport is better than Gran Turismo. Thank you. Whew. Okay, let me
The
say
evidence.
that.
The evidence would have been horrible.
I gotta say it. I'll say it right here, right now. Forza Motorsport is a better driving sim than Gran Turismo. I didn't think it would ever happen, but we're there. If you need evidence for the future that I'm not a blue haze lunatic, that's it.
I think I hear Sony calling there. A little upset with you right now.
Look, I don't take payola. I just call it like I see it. Have been my entire life. Sean, you're up.
Okay, well, I'm still playing Elden Ring. Definitely slowing down a bit. I beat the first major boss. I'm like way behind Frank. Like I'll never get to where Frank is now. There's no chance.
I'm not even that far. Dax is further than I am now. Dax is playing this game day and night.
I mean, like, and I posted a video in the Discord of the first against Margit, the fell omen.
Where you were swearing when you died at the same.
It just got by, like, because I died, and then I had like a frost effect or something on him, and then he died. So it counted, and that's how I beat him. But whatever. Like, I'm still enjoying it, but it like I thought by now I would be into more actual quest type stuff or story type stuff. Like, it is so self-driven. Like, all I do is just like, okay, what boss should I try for next? Okay, am I anywhere close to the recommended level for this boss? No. Okay, what are some weapons I could try to find? How can I try to level up quicker? And that's all it is. Like, that's all I'm doing in this game. So I still like the exploration, but I don't know.
I hate to do this, Sean, but that sounds exactly like Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I mean,
and the worst part is in Breath of the Wild, you go look for that weapon and then it's destroyed 10 minutes later.
Yeah.
And you got to go look for another one.
That was definitely part of Breath of the Wild. But as I mentioned, I love all the shrines and all that stuff. And there are actual storylines and quests that are pretty clearly laid out if you want to go and follow those. So when you get bored of just wandering around, you can be like, okay, I'll go back and do a little bit of story stuff.
I would say seeing the divine beast in the distance is pretty much the equivalent of the yellow lines at Sites of Grace in Elden Ring, guiding you on a path.
Okay.
Yeah.
But okay, so I do have two small things that I've played that I wanted to mention. First one is a VR rhythm game. Not sure if you've heard of this one, Frank. You might be interested. It's called Ragnarock. And
like
what
ROCK?
it is, yeah, and what it is, it's a drumming game, but you are on a Viking warship or something, and you're pounding on big war drums.
Yeah.
And
little Donkey Konga. I love Donkey Konga. How has no one taken the Donkey Konga opportunity on VR?
Yeah, well, it's kind of, I guess. But like the thing is, it's a lot of it's all metal basically, so it kind of fits the theme, and it's like you're seeing people kind of rowing to your drumming, and then there's cool stuff going on in the background, like, you know, one of the songs, there was like a big troll throwing rocks at us or something. So, I mean, I don't know. There, like, it really didn't explain anything to me. It just kind of is like, here's the list of songs, go. So I didn't even know. Like, I think there's kind of like the equivalent of star power where you have to like hit a shield off to the side, but I haven't really figured out what that does specifically. But yeah, it's pretty fun.
Gotta say, this game looks pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. Huck?
I did some dabbling, some Game Pass dabbling. I tried Infernax. This is like a Castlevania game. And I think it's basically a copy of Castlevania. And I was really enjoying it. I thought the controls were good, but it doesn't hold my hand enough. And I have now wandered down into the depths of some spot. And it was kind of like, you get to this door, and it's like, oh, you got to break the 5 gems. I'm like, okay. And that's all they tell you. They don't tell you where to go. So you obviously have to just explore each area. And so I just like kept going down. I'm going down. I finally get to this door. I'm like, okay, obviously there's going to be something in here. And there's a bunch of locked doors. I have one key. I use that one key. And then all the enemies are super hard. So I don't even know if I leave this place, if I can go anywhere else and do anything. I think I might need that key to open other doors, because I did find one place early on that had a key, but when I found it, I didn't have a key yet. So I'm imagining that's where I was supposed to go first. And also, it was pretty challenging to get to this lower depth area that I'm at now, so I don't really want to abandon all of my progress down in this area and then climb my way back out. So I'm a little discouraged from going back to it, but I was enjoying it. It has a typical sort of like more modern day roguelike upgrade thing where you collect gold and experience. The gold can be used to buy items or upgrade certain aspects of your armor to give you more defense. And then you can also use your experience points to upgrade your power, your health, or your mana overall stats. And so that part works well. And when you die, I think you lose, I don't think you lose any experience, but you lose a bunch of your money. And I was liking it, except now I am discouraged from continuing on. So if anyone has that itch for a polished Castlevania game, I would recommend not going down into the depths first, but it's definitely worth checking out. And Sean, I think you would love this game.
And if anyone has an urge for a game with a huge boss that's a satanic goat with bare breastises exposed, Like, this is crazy. This is not for children. This game is not for children.
No, literally, when you start the game, the warning screen is not like an epilepsy screen. It's this game is not for children warning. And then it has this whole thing of like all the shit that's in the game. Yeah. So yes, I would agree with that statement 100%. And so do the developers.
Yeah, I saw this on Game Pass, so I've been meaning to check it out.
When are we getting the Splatterhouse collection?
Good call. I don't know. How many Splatterhouse games are there? Didn't they do like a remake? Like,
I remember 3, but like, remember there was like a 3D Splatterhouse, I think. But I just want the 2D Splatterhouses. Remember when like there was the fetus, like the aborted fetuses thing, and that was like the craziest thing in a video game ever, and every video game magazine talked about it. Like, fucking Splatterhouse, man.
Yeah, man. This was, like, a friend of mine had a TurboGrafx at the time, and that was definitely something I was like, we got to play this.
I never played Splatterhouse.
Neither have I. I don't even know what it looks like.
That might be a good film junk place too.
Yeah,
we're all such horror heads.
Definitely.
The last thing I just briefly touched on was the Final Fantasy VI Pixel remaster that came to Steam. And I don't know, not much different. It's Final Fantasy VI with slightly more polished looking graphics so far. I haven't seen anything. I heard that the big controversial thing is that the Opera House has lyrics. The Opera House scene has lyrics now, which is, I don't know about that. So we'll see when I get there. I might have to just shut it off and delete it, but we'll see. I'm gonna keep playing it, but nothing revolutionary yet out of that game.
Wasn't there like, I don't know, maybe we already talked about this, but wasn't there like the big controversy over the fonts or something in that game?
Oh, probably. People love to complain.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else for you, Frank?
Nope.
All right. Last thing I was going to mention, I'm going to bring up a mobile game. Mobile. Have not played much in terms of iOS in a long time.
Did you glap it? You glap it?
Nope. But this is also on Steam. I want to talk Puzzle Quest 3.
I have to say this. When we cut to Sean for what he played, I was literally going to say, Sean, what VR game or mobile game did you? It's both.
I mean, I have to say, Apple Arcade. I used to be into it. I think I still have a subscription, but man, there's nothing on there anymore. Like it's a barren wasteland. So I don't know what I thought they had something cool going initially, but they kind of.
I guess that's where Google and Apple are the same. They start gaming projects and abandon them. Yeah, pretty quickly.
But Puzzle Quest. I mean, I think we can all agree Puzzle Quest is pretty amazing, right? At least the original was. Mm-hmm. I feel like I didn't play. What's that?
Never played Puzzle Quest.
Oh, really?
Oh, no.
Oh, you would love it.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I played the second one. I feel like I remember. So, like, the original was probably like 15 years ago. It came out.
I think I played it on my PSP.
Yeah, I think I played it on the DS. But I remember that came out. I really liked it, and I think they came out with like a sequel that was like completely different. It was like a hex board or something. It was totally different.
Like a galaxy.
Yeah, it was like Puzzle Quest Galactus or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And I was just like, what is this? And then it kind of killed it. But they did come out with Puzzle Quest 2 at some point, and I don't think I ever played it. So anyway, Puzzle Quest 3 is out on multiple platforms, as I mentioned. And it's kind of what you remember, but couple tweaks to it. Like, so the obvious, if you haven't played Puzzle Quest, it's like match 3 with RPG elements. And, pretty addictive gameplay loop. And this one, what they've changed with the match 3 thing is that you have a board and you basically have a 2-second window to do as many moves as you can do. So it used to be just like one move of the gems or whatever to try and get a match, then your enemy goes back and forth. This now is like the enemy doesn't actually affect the board, or at least they don't try to match. They can remove things from the board and stuff, but you have a 2-second window, so you can kind of study the layout and then just try to do a bunch of moves and try to rack up as many as you can in 2 seconds. And then that will either build up spells that you can do or attacks, and it goes from there. But the original had more of like an overworld map, and you had like different quests you could go to, and it was kind of open in the sense that you could choose where you want to go and what kinds of things you're trying to accomplish. But this one seems very linear so far. So I don't know if there's on the menu, there's like a quest tab that says it's locked until level 11 or something. So maybe there is more. But the one thing, though, I do have to mention, it is free to play, which could be bad. So far, I haven't really hit anything, although I think I just ran out of keys to unlock treasure chests, which you get after every battle. So I'm guessing that's one of the restrictions. Not sure what else there is, but I've heard that it's somewhat lenient in terms of those things. So I don't know. It's free to try. So if you were a fan of Puzzle Quest, maybe you want to check it out. It's just one of those things I'll have on my phone, and I'm sure I'll play from time to time. But, not blowing me away with the next iteration, but, it's Puzzle Quest.
Nice. Did not know it was out. All right. I think that's everything. We've covered it all.
Pretty much.
Gentlemen? Okay. Well, thanks for listening or watching us on youtube.com/GameJunk. Discord link is on there. If you're on the YouTube, throw us a comment. Tell us what retro game collection you want. Maybe, what are the ones we're not thinking about? Like Splatterhouse came out of nowhere. That's coming up soon. It's going to happen. But what other ones are we missing? And on Twitter, you can find Sean at FilmJunk and Andrew at My Angry Commute and Equilibrium Sis. There's supposed to be an indie showcase for Xbox this week, I think. I don't know if I feel like going over an indie showcase, but it might be all we have. Maybe I'll play Stranger if the reviews are good. Anything else we could talk about next week that we know is happening?
Tunic's coming out, so I'll definitely be
Oh, is it really?
Yep.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that. Sweet. All right, sounds good. We'll see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.